Hello, everyone. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Joey. For those who do, my name is still Joey. Joey. Holy cow. Uh, Today we're gonna read the fourth chapter of Job. Um, Apologies if I'm a little distracted here. I've been wearing a hat this morning, and I have horrible hat hair, so I'm trying to make it look a little nicer. Uh, but to recap, chapter 3 was Job uh, questioning a lot of going deep into question. Job questioned why he was born the way he was. Would life have been easier if he was born a different way? Uh, and why do bad things happen to those of God? And those are questions a lot of us struggle with. I know I've struggled with those questions before. And that's mainly because he's lost his possessions, he's lost his kids, he's now horribly sick, and he's still trying to give praise to God, but now he's confused, he's deep in thought and in question. And so chapter 4 goes into Eliphaz, one of his friends who came to sympathize with him, to be there for him. And so I think we will just get going from here, and depending on how this reading goes, we might go into chapter 5 as well, because Eliphaz is speaking this entire time. And then chapter 6 changes to Job talking again. So we'll see. We might just do chapter 4. We might just go into chapter 5 as well, depending on how this read goes. So without further ado, Job chapter 4, Eliphaz speaks, the innocent prosper. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? Behold, you have instructed many, and you have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have made firm the feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Remember who that was innocent ever perished? That's an interesting way to word that. Or where were the upright cut off? As I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. The roar of the lion, the voice of the fierce lion, the teeth of the young lions are broken. The strong lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was brought to me stealthily, my ear received the whisper of it. Amid thoughts from visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice. Can mortal man be in the right before God? Can a man be pure before his Maker? Even in his servants he puts no trust, and his angels he charges with error. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like the moth. Between morning and evening they are beaten to pieces. They perish forever without anyone regarding it. Is not their tent cord plucked up with them? Do they not die, and that without wisdom? This first bit here of chapter 4 goes into kind of like a self-care kind of thing. you give everything to others, but the moment you need to give to yourself, you're impatient. You don't want it or something like that. Some sorts of that, like you're different from yourself, the way you are with other people, and that's kind of Eliphaz's observation, to Job in the first 6 verses, and then. Those plow iniquity, and so I think here it gets into the verses 7 through 11. He goes into how the people who aren't innocent or upright get punished by God. And I don't think he's saying Job is one of those people, but how God takes care of those. That didn't make sense. I worded that wrong. I worded that weird too. And then he goes into verses 12 and 20 through 21. Part of it, him experiencing a form, some sort of spirit, and even then they make mistakes too, and God has such high standards for those angels, for those forms, to send the right message out. And I think Eliphaz is just trying to tell him that you may see yourself going through a hard time right now, but there's other people who go through it all the time, and it's just this one time that it's coming your way, and you're beating yourself up for it when you should still be trying to praise God for the times that he has given you, whether there was the good or the bad times. That's my kind of that's what I took from this chapter. From what we got 7.5 minutes. I think I'm gonna end it there. Eliphaz speaks a little more in chapter 5. Well, he speaks another whole other chapter, which is a page of itself. But we'll read into that tomorrow. We're gonna get some notes on here. So this, treat yourself as you treat others. That was like the first few. That was the first 6 verses. The second one saying, "There's always bad around." I think there's always evil lurking. I think that's how. And God punishes that evil. And then this last bit, just how God holds high standards on everyone. On everyone. Now, this is also the Old Testament, so I would like to think God would like to hold standards on everyone still, even after Jesus has passed away. I'm still trying to learn more about God personally as well. So maybe we go into the New Testament after Job, but we have a good amount of Job still left to do. So God holds high standards on everyone, so don't beat yourself up so much. That could be what he's saying from this, what Eliphaz is saying. I could be completely wrong as well. This is just based off of my interpretation, my own perspective, my own way of reading this. Other people will read this differently and be like, that is not at all what this means. It doesn't help. I've said this many times. I have an ESV version, English Standard Version, instead of like the New Testament, the newer translations. I probably would, if I read like the newer translations, I probably would understand this like that and be able to get through that. But I kind of like reading through this because it makes me uh, try to understand it in my own words through reading it, even if it's not, even if it doesn't make clear sense yet. And yeah, I mean, I could for sure look into this afterwards on the newer translations to see how well I interpreted this, and see how off I was, or how on the dot I was. But with that, I'm going to end this here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I don't know why these were charging literally like for days on end. I don't understand. My AirPods are getting old. Thank you all so much for following along with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. For those who are going through finals this week, I had one myself this morning. I hope finals goes well for everyone. And if you're not in college and you're not doing finals or something like that, I hope the rest of the day for you goes well as the rest of the week. That's not saying that I'm going to be done with these. Just to give a heads up, I am going to try my best to, but I am going to be on a fishing trip this coming weekend, and connection might be off that, or I will not be able to do this in the morning, and so I'll try, but I will try to try to read these out, and if I can't, I'm sorry. I will be posting these. I'll be getting back to it once I come back from the fishing trip from this weekend, this coming weekend. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.